Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
This is your girl, Dr. Dangerfield.
And I am Dr. Patience.
And guess what? It is our favorite month again. For real. For real, for real, for real. It's May, and you know this Mental Health Awareness Month, and we talk about all things mental health.
Exactly.
And so, you know, it's just probably what brings us here today is we have a guest that she loves Mental Health Awareness Month. Her act like she leads up to it. She's been counting down, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, if you check out her social media, she's been counting down Mental Health Awareness Month. People might not know, but I know. That's what she's doing. So our guest today is Angela Jackson. She is the face of the Jackson Impact. And so it's like, who is the Jackson Impact and why they do mental health wellness?
Well, hello.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
So glad to be here, and I'm glad you added the face of the Jackson Impact. I visited somewhere else, and my husband listened in and said, "You didn't introduce yourself." And I said, "Yes, I did." I said, "I'm Angela Jackson, the face of the Jackson Impact." He said, "No, you didn't say it the way you always say it."
So you have to say it.
So I'm Angela T. Jackson, the face of the Jackson Impact.
Yes, I love it.
And so I agree, this is our month, but I tell you a new fun fact for me that I have been maintaining probably for about 2 years now is wearing some form of green every day. Yes.
Wow.
I love green. You can check out my platforms, check out my website, but it sparks up a lot of questions. People they're starting to notice in different places, oh, there she is in her favorite color. So I'll let it go with favorite color just for a little while, and especially in church. So now they're noticing, and it's different shades of green, and I can say, well, let me tell you why else I'm wearing this green. And so it opens the door to advocate. It opens the door to interrupt that stigma even further and say, okay, this is what the green represents. I am normalizing conversations around mental health. This is about my profession, and it is just a conversation starter. So I have dedicated that space, having fun with it.
I love that. That is great. And I love what you said about the stigma, right? Like people are often uncomfortable talking about mental health. And so using the color to draw them in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, even thinking about core values as far as business, because I do have a private mental health practice. I started in the heart of the pandemic. And it was just one of those things where I had to decide what it was going to look like virtually. So building relationships and going back to what I was about to say about core values, one of those is fun. And that's just who I am, just kind of infusing a little bit of fun into mental health, not mental health care. Let me say that, because that's one thing I like to point out. We're now having lots of conversations about mental health itself, but mental health care, there's still a little bit of a pull actually getting people to embrace that, to actually accept and engage. So, oh goodness, I feel like I'm rambling now. There's just so much to say, But you know, there's that space where there's always room to show up, not just as far as breaking that stigma and having the conversations, but connecting people to the right places. And I was going to say incorporating the fun, incorporating who I am into the therapy so that it's not so scary for those first time clients or those who are experiencing mental health for the first time. So,
oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about, like, because I know you are a resource builder. someone that provides resources. So tell us a little bit more about that and why you decided to come at it from that angle.
Okay. So it branches off of showing up and the availability of mental health care. A lot of people don't know where to go, they don't know where to start, still a lot of questions. So I have a private resource group. So it's a private Facebook community where I spotlight different resource providers month to month. I share different resources, tips, tools, techniques that will minimize certain symptoms, whether it's anxiety, depression, maybe they're dealing with chronic illness symptoms and just newly diagnosed type things. And so I just automatically share the resources, automatically making the connections. And it could be from food giveaways, it could be resource fairs. There was actually one last week that I participated in. So it was within the Sumner County community. So you had mental health professionals, you had resources where people were giving away food, giving away clothing. So all of this was on site. And then I learned of a new resource where they actually set up and provide showers for homeless.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, this is something that's new to me. So with me sharing resources that I'm familiar with, I'm learning about new ones because it reminds me of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
I know I can say that. We're all therapists here. So that basic level is physiological, right?
Yeah.
Am I fed? Am I clothed? Am I taken care of? And so a lot of people, it's difficult for a lot of people to get really deep rooted into the mental health part if their physiological needs
That's
are
true.
not met. I'm hungry, I'm starving, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
So that is also a part of making that connection in providing care. So
I love that. It's so funny you say that, before getting them into care, those Maslow's, lower part of the hierarchy. I'm like, a lot of us can't function if we're hungry.
Right.
I mean, even with the accessibility that we can get to things, I say to my children all the time, like, you tired, like go lay down. Because you're not functioning well. Does mom need to make you a sandwich? Because something is amiss with you. And so, to think about people who don't even have the capacity to even, I give them a sandwich, they're fine, they've adjusted. But those who go longing for that for decades, years, and being able to get the resources they need to tangibly get those resources is so important. That's great work.
absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, I want to know a little bit, so Lucretia, Dr. Dangerfield to y'all, has been on this why. She always wants to know the why. Y'all know she loves the why. And so tell us a little bit about the why for you and one mental health awareness month, like this build up countdown, this getting everybody engaged. Tell us, where does this why come from? Why this is so important to you, why you're so passionate about it, why you even got into mental health in the first place. Tell us a little.
That is a loaded question.
And I'm like, first I need to know about this build up. But then after you settle that,
Can you
come
tell
on,
us
let's
why
the
did
big
you
why
do
about
that?
it.
Tell
Why
us
you
the
doing
big
it?
why behind what
Yeah.
you do.
I will say for the countdown, whenever there is an exciting event or something important that's being launched, there's typically a countdown. Get ready for it. And that's just letting people know that we're about to show up. We, mental health professionals, the community, organizations, we are about to show up. So there's going to be a level of availability that may even be increased during this time. So it's like, okay, get ready. We're about to show up and provide whatever it is, different resources, make connections, invite you to inquire about EAP services, some way that you might be able to access free therapy, or even how you access the free therapy. And, as far as the why, I can say for most therapists, we develop oh my goodness, it's a passion that's developed out of our own personal pain points. So I can say throughout my life, there has been presence of domestic violence, there's been presence of substance abuse, and when I say presence, I mean exposure. So all of those things, it may be feelings of neglect, different changes, different adjustments, health diagnoses, right? Things that affect mental health. And so there is my passion there personally, knowing that there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way of addressing those different feelings and experiences. And oh my goodness, so when the dysfunction continues, that is just a whole nother level, right?
Yeah.
So carrying that baggage, you have to, at some point, you really do have to unpack. So that is my personal passion, is being exposed to the stigma itself. Specifically hearing, I'm not crazy. Don't call me crazy. I don't have to go to a therapist, or then they were calling it shrink or whatever else it was. So it's like, okay, what is this level of fear? What is this level of rejection? And so I've worked in different platforms in the helping field, and I just transitioned from early intervention, from foster care, from children and family services, from IOP groups. And sometimes, let me back up. Before IOP, because I was already a counselor or therapist then, but I always found myself in places where I felt like I needed to be on the other side of the table. Maybe transporting a client to a therapy appointment, and then finding myself doing more of the validating, doing more of the comforting and being more empathetic, and maybe even addressing the feelings of grief where they may get one flat answer, but it's not linear. You've got all these different stages. And so being able to offer that support, I was like, wait a minute, I need to be in their seat. I need to be in the therapist seat. So it just led me to explore a little bit more. It's been a long journey, and I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I feel like we all could say that, right? I feel like if you are choosing to work in this profession, there has to be some connection to it, some passion behind it, some exposure in some way, shape, or form that allows you to be your most authentic self in those spaces with other people. And so, and if you're working with somebody who you don't feel that with, then find somebody who does.
We talk about that.
Yes, that's so important to, because there is, we are dealing with people, and I think Lucretia and I talk about this often, is like at their most vulnerable time in their most vulnerable spaces. And so,
absolutely.
And I think it's so important for us to be aware of that, and then how we connect to that. And then I love that you were like, wait a minute, I need to be on the other side.
That's right.
I need to be on the other side.
I came to myself, right?
That's right.
And then hold on.
I need to be on the other side. I need to be the health first.
I need to be that. I say that all the time. Will the real Angela T. Jackson stand up?
I love that. I do also love the fact of this countdown idea. When you're talking about it, and in my mind, I'm a visual person, I always think about our community. We love a good countdown, don't we? And she's like, we about to show up and show out. I was like, that is a way to get anyone's attention.
Right. People
our community be like, what's happening? We about to. It's a countdown to what?
How many days? Let me make sure that I don't want to miss it. What is she about to talk about? I don't want to miss out. So
that's right. And on your social media, what are some of the things that people can find? We'll at the end, of course, give them the audience an opportunity to find you. But what are things that you've been, Lucretia is obviously aware of, that you've been posting and keeping people to get ready for,
Oh, wow. So right now it's more of just only 5 days left, only 4 days left, 3 days left.
And the way but y'all have to get the way she does it it's not like, you get this like blanket post.
Right, she made it all simple.
5 days left. No, you have to see it. When I started seeing the countdown, I was like, what's she about to do? And I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on May 1st to get here because I want to know what Angela T. Jackson is going to do. And that's when she talks about the fun, bringing the fun into it. She does. She always brings this fun tone to everything. Mm-hmm. Because I'll tell y'all. You didn't do it this year, but for the past, it was 3 years where let me tell y'all, this is what she does. She done connected all the way in the UK.
That's right, UK connection.
All the way in the UK with this young man to bring awareness around mental health, and it's started with chronic illnesses, but
that's right. Because
that young man did not know what he was getting himself into when he connected with Angela T. Jackson. She changed his broadcast where it made it exciting to have conversations. Wow. They did podcasts and different things like that. It was like, oh yeah, this is engaging.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mental health awakening. That's what it is.
That's it.
So something I always say is, I introduce myself and I'll say I am from the USA, partnering with the UK, and then we will announce emergency numbers. And so we have changed that a little bit, but that's also coming up, Mental Health Awakening. And that's right, it is based in the UK, so that's exciting. I'm launching something a little bit, I can share a little bit, but I'm not one to do a lot of videos, live videos, so I may be going live a little bit more in May. A new brand dropping Emerald Gems, right? The Emerald for mental health, gems for the knowledge, so you're going to get a lot more mental health knowledge straight from me, where I like to plug other people in and give them space to show up and shine. I will be showing up a little bit more.
That's amazing.
Yes, look, I say moving to YouTube.
Good.
That's something new for me.
Come on over here.
Done that. Yeah.
Come on over
We're
here.
moving to YouTube.
No, we need it, and there is just room for everyone because mental health is so important and needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
And so I just think there is something valuable about getting that content out there with people who look like us.
That's right.
Yes.
Representation.
Representation matters.
It's so important.
Yes. And so, as we are going into May and we are about to, launch all of these great things, but we, like you said, we're about to show up and show out. And I feel like I gotta get ready. I'm like, shoot, Lucretia, what am I gonna do for mental health awareness month? We gotta get on that. I'm like,
yes, ma'am.
Be seen in your green.
Yes. What is something that you would want our listeners to know about, like mental health, about resources, about getting help, about what is the final thoughts that you would want to share with them to kind of those who are looking for a therapist or don't know what to do or who are feeling afraid to talk to anybody about any of their symptoms or diagnoses? What is something that you want them to know?
Well, I would say that consultations are free. They are private and confidential. I love to share the fact that therapists are governed by the body and the board that says you cannot share a person's information or there could be legal repercussions. So it's a very private, safe space. When you see someone showing up, when you see therapists sharing for Mental Health Awareness Month, reach out, especially if they're offering their time or space. Reach out, ask your questions. A lot of times when there's fear or feelings of anxiety, you have questions about what's going on. So just asking questions and inquiring. Look into your EAP program with human resources wherever you work. Also, maybe you don't have insurance. There's providers that offer self-pay, offer sliding fee scales. Maybe they have pro bono spaces. They will provide you therapy for free for a time being, reevaluate. There's a lot of different ways. So reach out, ask the questions. You're not alone. Do not wait until there is a national crisis to decide to call 988 or whatever the crisis lines are. They're there for you. There's a licensed professional that's waiting to help you out. Call or even text 988.
That was great.
And I love the way you said licensed professional.
Absolutely.
Not, we've had this conversation on more than one occasion about the importance to make sure that your professional person is educated and has the experience that that they've gone through the process.
Absolutely.
Because it could be a long process that we have gone through.
Oh yeah,
to bring you
to hold that space for you.
Yes,
That's right.
Because that's so important. We have been trained to hold good, safe, confidential spaces for individuals. And the funny thing that we just realized, and we before we got started on taping, is that we have a theme between the three of us, that we all are graduates of Argosy University from one of the programs.
exactly something.
So
I know, that's crazy. That feels so long ago too.
it was. See, so long ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Angela, you have to tell them how to find you, where on social media, website, all the information.
Okay, so you can find me on Psychology Today, Angela T. Jackson. You can go to www.thejacksonimpact.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Jackson Impact. Also, there is the resource group that I mentioned, the Jackson Impact Mental Health Hub. That's the one-stop shop for mental health resources, community, and just lots of things. Join. And also on Instagram. And let's see, Instagram is the.jackson.impact or the Angela T. Jackson. Also, as I mentioned, we're moving to YouTube, so be on the lookout.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
Angela,
thank you.
for being
You're
with us
welcome.
today.
Thank you
We
for
appreciate
having
you
me.
so much. It's a way to get Mental Health Awareness Month started. So we are excited about that.
Excited.
So we love y'all. We are so excited about this. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. This is the best part to me of our show. Dr. Dangerfield, please tell them where they can find us on Instagram.
Well, you can find if you're catching us on Instagram, you know where to find us at I Am Brown Girl Banter, or on YouTube, Brown Girl, one word, space banter. If you're looking for me on Instagram, it is at I Am Dr. Dangerfield.
Ooh, she did that today, didn't
I
she?
remember.
Hey. And if you're looking for me, you can find me at I Am Dr. Patience. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We look forward to talking to y'all soon. Take care.
Bye.